And Deputy Patrick Nulty. I understand, Deputy, you're sharing your time.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'd like to share my time with Deputies Anthony Lawler, Deputy Marcella Corcoran-Kennedy and Deputy Paddy Coffey.
And that's 5 minutes each, is it?
That's correct, Cathaoirleach.
Thank you, Deputy.
And can I also say, Cathaoirleach, as this is my maiden speech on the floor, I'd like to thank the people of Dublin West and Swords who've lent me their votes to represent them here and assure them that I'll work tirelessly on their behalf for so long as I remain here. I'm very glad to speak on the energy bill before us today. There are three aspects of it that I'd like to focus on: energy efficiency, what's called energy theft in the bill, and energy safety. I very much welcome the provision in the bill to place in primary legislation energy efficiency obligations under the Energy Service Directive. It is absolutely vital that electricity and gas providers play their part in helping to reduce energy demand. The best way to achieve such targets is through support measures which will achieve long-term savings, such as better insulation and efficient appliances. Such long-term actions provide not only savings for the consumer, but also in the long term will help us as a country to meet our energy demand reduction targets. In that context, it is essential that the Better Energy programme continues to be a priority for government. The fact that 1/3 of the total funding for the programme this year will go to addressing energy poverty is a welcome step in the right direction. And I very much look forward to the publication of the government's energy affordability strategy. And in that context, I hope the Minister and the government as a totality will be very cognisant of the representations made by organisations like Age Action, the St Vincent de Paul and the Energy Poverty Coalition. It is worth noting that investment in energy efficiency is a huge potential source for job creation in this country. And in that context, the 100,000 local authority homes that we have across the nation is an area where, if we were to improve energy efficiency and insulation, we could not only make it easier to meet the targets we are setting ourselves in legislation and the targets set by the European Union, but we could put many of our people back to work. And I'm sure deputies from right across this House have received representations from our tenants and local authority homes who, because of the funding mechanism within the Department of Environment, cannot get upgrades, for example, to double glazed windows and so on, which are very important. And I would urge the Department of Communications and Energy to open a dialogue with the Department of Environment to addressing that issue. On the question of what's called energy theft in the bill, there's absolutely no debate, in my view, that energy theft, which the Commission for Energy Regulation estimates costs €30 million per annum, should be reduced and can be reduced. And importantly, these savings that accrue must be passed on to the consumer. They should not be retained by the large utility companies. Equally, it is vital that in tandem with that, the updated measures outlined in the bill are used with caution and are used with diligence and with responsibility. And coupled with that, it is essential that the measures to address fuel poverty are given equal weight, and so vulnerable households are given support and assistance in reducing the energy usage that they have. And where there is energy theft or fraud in terms of that area, that of course that has to be dealt with, and it's right that it is dealt with in the bill, but that's part of a package of measures which I think is important. Equally, I welcome previous assurances given by the Minister that no household will have their gas supply cut off this winter due to arrears, which I think is very important, and I think is something that should be welcomed on the floor of this House. In relation to the whole area of energy safety, The measures on energy safety, I think, are very important, and it's good to see them being placed on a legislative statutory footing. The extension of gas safety provisions to the LPG sector, for example, will assist in protecting households who have derived their energy from this source and improving safety provision. This is particularly important given that the Department have noted that fatalities have occurred in homes in recent years as a consequence of problems in this area, and the legislative protocols that we are bringing forward in this bill are vital in that respect. I also welcome provision in the bill to allow electrical investigation officers to investigate works carried out by unregulated contractors. This type of regulation is what's needed in this area and in many other aspects of public policy in this country, and it's something that has been lacking over the last decade and before under previous administrations. I also welcome the fact that gas safety officers will be placed on an equal footing with their electrical investigation officer counterparts. And on that note, Cathaoirleach, I will conclude my contribution, and thank you very much.